Hey, how you guys doing? This is OV Transport Guy coming to you real quick. So, it's been a little bit since I've been on, but I did have a really good trip early this week. A long one. For the first time, I took a trip to San Antonio, Texas. I never thought that I would be doing that just because it's such a long ride. But here's something that I discovered in doing that. So, I usually charge a specific price, and it turns out, thought came to me, maybe you need to charge more, given what you're going to have to be dealing with, possibly. And so, as I thought about it, I was like, man, maybe I should have a little bit more, because driving is one thing, but when you have to help out people and possibly new challenges come up, all that has to be considered. And basically, I was traveling with an older guy that they're taking to a long-term facility care, and his friend with him too. So both of them older in the back. One person, they get car sick from what they were telling me. So now that's something I got to be concerned about. And on the other hand, the gentleman, it's possible he has some forgetfulness. I won't go into the medical terminology because nothing hasn't really been determined. But, you have to kind of make sure he's not doing anything as well. And then there was frequent stops, right? Now, that's to be expected given where I'm at and where I'm going to. Long story short, we get to the facility, and the person that overseeing it all, that commissioned me to do this particular drive, ended up paying me more than I thought, because I kept in touch with them. There was constant communication, just the safety of how I conducted, gave them some ideas, some pointers, stuff like that. And a lot of that just based on my own background of having experience in these areas, right? So there's certain signs automatically that I'm looking for. I just want to make sure, whomever I'm transporting, especially if they're elder, senior, special needs, that I'm handling that the right way. And if there's any questions or concern, I can address, the guardian over them, whatever that looks like, right? And it turns out, I ended up getting more. And the person's like, I got to give you more. I'm like, okay. And then I had to make a trip back from San Antonio to where I'm at, right? And it turns out I ended up getting food, gas, and this is from the other person, and they gave me a little bit more. So I walked away with a pretty good significant amount, and trust me, it was more than what I thought. So I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, this is the type of service I provide, right? So if I provide this type of service, why don't I just, up my price, because I have the amenities, there's the helping hand, really going out the way, and it's beyond customer service work. And then when I looked at my reviews on my business, this is why it's important to have reviews, because let me tell you something, man, it is awesome. And I got literally 3 different reviews, 2 from the people that I transported, or at least the one individual, and then 1 from the person that gave me the information to pick them up, let me know what was going on. I was recommended. Think about what that looks like. So here's the point that I'm making with all of this. don't sell yourself short. And here's the thing. What I did, they had no other person to do it, right? No regular shuttle transportation services is going to do it. And if they're going to do it, it's going to be a lot more money. And that's just a fact. So, it's just like I explained earlier to my wife, you have these two big old vehicles, right? And they're big, they're bulky. And I'm adding more to the story, by the way, if she's watching, right? And they're trying to go down this alleyway. But there's a problem with this alleyway. It's too small. They've tried every type of way to squeeze in. They can't do it. It ain't going to happen. However, you have this smaller vehicle, perfect. Can go breeze right through and get to where people need to go. A lot more easier. And so that's kind of how I see myself. And at the same time, have what they need. Great things happen in the unexpected, right? And so if you provide a service, and I just want to leave you guys this, if you're providing a service and you are meeting a specific need and going over and above, then your price needs to reflect your type of service, if that makes sense. I'm not saying you got to rip them off, but the thing is, I consider my service extraordinary and better, to be quite honest, better than most ride-share, limousines, stuff like that. Because besides the amenities, my attitude, my willingness to help, to go out the way, far exceeds that. And so that is something that I've added into that equation. So now people are like, wow, this dude is awesome. Not because I say I'm awesome, but because they experience something that they normally don't get, right? So I'm able to offer more, just by my attitude. And I've been in situations where things haven't always been great, but that particular individual went over and above, and it pleased me. And I'm like, let me take care of this cat. I may see it in restaurants all the time, all these tables and this one person working hard, but taking care of business, kicking butt, taking name. The work seems loaded up on them, but they're still taking care of you. And I see that, and I see what I'm asking, they're still doing it. You know what? I got you. And I love doing that, being able to give somebody extra because they went out the way. So, again, it comes down to know your worth. And if you're better than the service around you, then yeah, you should charge a bit more. But if you're charging a little bit more, whatever that looks like, that means that you're proving to those clients that you're all that in a bucket of chicken. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, what you do great work. You do exponential great work. And if you present that and they see that, they'll appreciate it. Because if you charge people cheap, they're going to think your work sucks. They may not necessarily say it. And somebody poor may not care, but you're not going to get anywhere with that. But if you're dealing with folks that's got things they need to do, you know what I'm saying? Then they're like, okay, this is worth it. And then they see that for themselves. It's not enough for me to say my service is great, but when they step in this vehicle, they find out, okay, this is all good. And that's what I present. So in other words, I sell myself to them in what I do. So do that for yourself. Know your worth and know what it costs you. And I think you'll do great things. This is OV Transport Guy coming to you with the video. Better late than never, right? Hey guys, this is what we do. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye for now.